Humans are weird and brilliant, from ties making you look powerful to flushing toilets in unison. These social behaviors will blow your mind. Studies show that wearing a tie can increase the perception of authority and professionalism, even in casual settings. People often view individuals in ties as more competent, though this effect can fade in informal environments. In 2013, Brazilian playboy Chiquinho Scarpa announced he would bury his Bentley, mimicking pharaohs. The stunt sparked outrage, but was later revealed as a campaign promoting organ donation, highlighting how people bury valuable organs instead of donating them to save lives. Zoe Roth, known as Disaster Girl from the viral meme, sold an NFT of the photo in 2021 for nearly $500,000. She used the money to pay off student loans after earning a BA in peace studies. A guide horse is an alternative mobility option for blind individuals who prefer not to or cannot use a guide dog, offering assistance in navigation and independence. Laser sights were introduced in 1979, but remained a low-demand technology until Arnold Schwarzenegger's iconic use of a laser sight in The Terminator from 1984. This moment significantly popularized the technology among consumers and firearm enthusiasts, making it more widely adopted. The nut island effect is not an island full of nuts. Sorry, nut lovers. It's a phrase used in organizations to describe when a skilled team becomes isolated from distracted leadership, leading to a breakdown in performance. Ring theory in psychology suggests that people organize their relationships in concentric circles, with the innermost circle representing the closest emotional connections. This theory helps explain how individuals prioritize emotional energy, time, and attention based on relationship closeness. The illusory truth effect is the tendency to believe false information as true after repeated exposure. Familiarity makes repeated statements feel more believable, even if they're incorrect, influencing memory, understanding, and decision-making without people realizing it. The idea for the Final Destination movie came after co-writer Jeffrey Reddick read about a mother who convinced her daughter to change flights after a premonition. The original plane later crashed. A significant amount of litter is thrown from moving vehicles, often including wrappers, bottles, and cigarette butts. This litter spreads quickly and is much harder to clean up, making it a growing environmental issue. In Bhutan, individual birthdays are traditionally unrecognized, and many people don't even know their exact birth date. Instead, everyone in the country officially turns a year older together on January 1st, a practice rooted in cultural simplicity and government records. Minecraft holds a record as the best-selling video game, with over 300 million copies sold worldwide. Its enduring popularity is further evidenced by its 140 million monthly active players. During the Crimean War, soldiers initially called Florence Nightingale, the lady with the hammer, for breaking into locked cabinets to retrieve medicine. A journalist later changed it to the lady with the lamp, deeming the original nickname too unladylike. After 9/11, Clear Channel Communications compiled a list of over 150 lyrically questionable songs, urging radio stations to avoid playing them to prevent upsetting listeners during the sensitive aftermath of the attacks. After Germany's stunning 7-1 victory over Brazil in the 2014 World Cup, a famous adult video website had to issue a plea to stop users from uploading highlights of the match to their website with explicit titles referring to the outcome of the match. In 1950, only 9% of American households owned a television. By 1960, that number skyrocketed to 90%, reflecting the rapid growth of television's influence on American culture during the decade. Prairie madness afflicted 19th century settlers on the Great Plains, causing depression and isolation-driven breakdowns. Harsh conditions, loneliness, and cultural displacement contributed to psychological distress, sometimes leading to violence or taking their own lives. Dirk Willems, a Dutch Anabaptist, escaped prison in 1569, but turned back to save his pursuer, who fell through ice. He was then recaptured and executed. In Korea, Kim, Lee, and Park are the three most common surnames, making up nearly 50% of the population. Kim is the most prevalent, with about 20% of Koreans sharing it, reflecting ancient family lineages and regional origins. In 2016, a man in Kentucky stole a boat, picked up friends, and robbed houseboats, taking a TV, bottles of liquor, and more. But the next night, they returned everything undamaged, along with an apology note. In some jurisdictions, illiterate individuals can make a mark, often an X or a personal symbol on legal documents, as long as a literate witness countersigns. In some countries, thumbprints are used as a substitute for a written signature. In response to the removal of over 400 offensive words from Scrabble's official list, many competitive players started quitting, arguing that historical words shouldn't be erased from gameplay. In 2022, a man won a free drink in an air guitar contest on a cruise. That was his last memory before waking up alone in the Gulf of Mexico. After treading water for 18 hours and enduring multiple jellyfish stings, he was finally rescued. According to a 1996 survey, Sesame Street was watched by 95% of all American preschoolers by the time they were 3 years old. In 2023, Americans over 60 lost over $3 billion to online scams, making them prime targets for fraud. Common scams included phishing, tech support fraud, and investment schemes, highlighting growing cybersecurity concerns. Enjoying these weird facts? Hit that subscribe button before it gets socially awkward. The Ben Franklin effect is when someone starts to like you more after doing you a favor. This happens because their brain wants actions and feelings to match. So helping means they must like you. Why not do me a favor and hit that subscribe button? The Ben Franklin effect says you will like me more. After a Royal Marine lost part of his leg, his "You'll Never Walk Alone" tattoo was cut short to "You'll Never Walk." He now jokes about it during motivational speeches. At 7:30 p.m. one Saturday in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, something unusual happened. Residents across the city, facing severe water rationing, flushed their toilets at the same time. It was an effort to clear clogged sewers after weeks of drought and water shortages. In 2023, chess player and Twitch streamer Anna Kramling created her own opening called the Cow. A year later, in 2024, she faced an opponent who used her own opening against her, only to be defeated by it. Due to Vatican City's tiny population, a single double homicide in 1998 caused the country to have the highest annual murder rate in the world that year, exceeding 200 per 100,000 people. Eric Weinmayer became the first blind person to summit Mount Everest on May 25, 2001. In September 2002, he went on to complete the 7 summits, the highest peaks on each of the 7 continents. In the Middle Ages, bedding, including blankets and sheets, was considered so valuable that it was often included in wills, highlighting its importance and worth. In Japan, more diapers are sold for elderly people than for babies, reflecting the country's aging population and shifting demographics as the number of seniors continues to grow significantly. After the Titanic sank, the first recovery ship ran out of embalming supplies, so they preserved only first-class passengers, needing to visually identify wealthy victims for settling estate disputes. Subscribe now. It's free, unlike a first-class ticket. Every day in the Netherlands, people eat around 750,000 hagelslag sandwiches. This tasty treat is just buttered bread covered in chocolate sprinkles, but it's a breakfast, lunch, or snack favorite that has been loved by the Dutch for generations. Planking, or the lying down game, involves lying face down in unusual locations, with palms at the sides and toes on the ground. It became a viral trend in 2011 as participants shared photos of their creative planking spots on social media. TV actress Anna Obregon shocked Spain by having a granddaughter via surrogacy, using her deceased son's sperm. Surrogacy is illegal in Spain, sparking political and media debates about her decision and the ethics surrounding it. A finance worker in Hong Kong was tricked into transferring $25 million to fraudsters using deepfake technology. The scam involved a video call with fake recreations of colleagues, convincing the worker it was legitimate despite initial suspicions about a phishing email. In a 2015 study, it was found that only 46% of the world's cultures practice romantic kissing, indicating it's not a universal common behavior. During the 1980s to 1990s in China, brides often lit double happiness cigarettes for each male wedding guest, a symbolic gesture of gratitude that turned tobacco into an unexpected part of wedding tradition. In Germany, getting a driving license involves attending a driving school, passing both theory and practical tests, and completing an eye exam and first aid course. The whole process can cost around 3,000 euros, but it ensures thorough training before driving. In Japan, resignation services help employees quit their jobs by notifying employers on their behalf. These services are popular among workers seeking to avoid confrontation or pressure when resigning. In 2012, the widow of a man who died during an intimate encounter with two other people that did not include his wife was awarded with $3 million in a malpractice suit. The jury found his doctor negligent for misdiagnosing his heart condition and failing to advise him to stop physical activity. Singapore's bilingual education policy requires all students in government schools to learn English as their first language. Additionally, they study a mother tongue, Mandarin, Malay, or Tamil, based on their ethnic background. Fear of missing out, or FOMO, is a psychological phenomenon involving anxiety that others are experiencing something rewarding without you. It creates a persistent urge to stay connected, often fueled by social media. FOMO can lead to stress, dissatisfaction, and compulsive behaviors, impacting mental health and decision-making in everyday life. In 2022, Michigan woman Shani Short sued Richard Jordan for $10,000 after he failed to show up for a date, claiming emotional distress. The lawsuit led to a heated courtroom exchange, gaining widespread attention for its unusual legal basis. The Jerry Springer Show was an American talk show hosted by Jerry Springer. It aired for 27 seasons from September 30th, 1991 to July 26th, 2018, with a total of 3,891 episodes broadcast during its run. In Italy, France, Spain, Hispanic America, and parts of Belgium and South Africa, children leave their lost teeth for the tooth mouse instead of the tooth fairy, a tradition where a small mouse exchanges their tooth for a gift or coin. In Brazil, a judge ruled that identical twin brothers must both pay child support after DNA tests failed to determine which one was the father, and neither admitted paternity, ensuring the child received financial support from both men. In a shocking twist, South Africa's lottery drew the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and Powerball 10, sparking fraud accusations. Remarkably, 20 players hit the jackpot, each winning 5.7 million rand, leaving many questioning the odds of such a sequence. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's video, or check out the playlist on your screen for more facts. See you next time.